I'm Daryl Rath from Rath Racing. Just going to take a little time and do a walk around on a pro build chassis that we're building, purposely built for TT racing. First thing we'll talk about is our TT style Nerf bars, our signature series Nerf bar. This has a monster peg on it. This is our Gen 2 style nets. And what we did on this bike also in this build here is we took and ran our billet pro peg mounts instead of the traditional steel. And up front, if you look here, this is an aluminum mount. It's the same geometry and everything, same height, but they're just made out of aluminum to save weight. Next thing on the walk around on this build is this is one of our TT swing arms. What we use here is a tube style swing arm. It's all laser cut and to get our precise fits, so we're not filling gaps. We make lengths from 1.25 inch under to 1 7/8 under 0405 swing arms. We do an 0405 mount back here, and we also do an 06 mount for someone that wants to run a different style linkage. On this particular bike, this is our TT style link. It's designed to work with our swing arms. You can use other linkages. You can even use stock link if you want to. In the back of the machine here, we have one of our lowered rear grab bars. We do a lightweight version, we do a normal version, and a version that just comes straight out. This is about 1.5 inches lower than our standard grab bar. Nothing really super special there. Comes in with incorporated, like in the Hondas, comes with our fender pickups. Our YZRs also do, all of our bikes do have fender pickups built into it. In this build here, we did incorporate one of our chromoly subframes. Comes with the billet receivers for your seat pins to go in here. You could add the pins, obviously positive lock your seat, can't come off. We do have the adjustability down here, so you can raise and lower your subframe. And then we take it to another level here where we actually have 3 different holes that you can adjust your seat height up front. Moving towards the front of the machine here, we put one of our TT gas tanks on this. The TT tank obviously looks completely different to what you're used to seeing on your machine. We have to modify the frame to utilize a TT tank. We have to lower the radiator. As you can see that the radiator actually sits at an angle here, so we lowered the radiator. If you look here, there's extra tabs here that move the radiator down 1.5 inches. The tank itself holds 1.7 gallons of fuel, and we move all the fuel down as low as you can in the frame rails. I mean, in your traditional gas tank, all your fuel sits above the frame rails. Here we're carrying almost 1 gallon of fuel below the frame rails. Obviously lowering your center of gravity makes the machine handle better in the corners. Next thing on here on your left hand side is this is our overflow bottle. We're using an aftermarket radiator here, just because, to be honest with you, a lot of the radiators nowadays are pretty bent up and stuff, so we bought a new radiator and put one of our coolant bottle overflows in there. So on this side of the machine here, we can see that we already lowered the radiator that we talked about. On this build here, we just put this in here, kind of show people that we make these things. This is a billet inline cooler, and really, really popular with the guys building hybrids. Guys looking to get rid of a little extra heat out of their machines. Yes, they work. We tested them. You can run one on this side, you can run one on the other side, you can run 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. Depending on where you can run them either side or on both. They work very, very well. Moving up front on this build, this is our TT style bumper. We just put a simple tab in here to hold the number plate. What we do in a lot of our builds now is we've been moving the bumpers, number plates down towards the bottom to get more air into these bikes to help cool that radiator better. This bumper also is built with lightweight material in the tubing, which is impossible to see in this video, but we use thinner brackets, top and bottom. We take about 1.5 pounds off the bumper at a pretty minimum cost. One of the next things that's really, really important in the TT world when it comes to racing is our sway bar. And this is a basic off-the-shelf sway bar. It comes with the steel mounts. It mounts up to the upper A-arm here. This is a 24-inch wide bar. And this one here uses a 6-inch length that attaches down to our TT style A-arms. We also make the same sway bar. It would come with taller brackets, and it would be a billet clamp kit. So there'd be a clamp that clamps up here, and you'd have a short 2-inch length. So The billet clamp can go on the front side of the arm or the back side of the arm, depending on what you're running for different machines. Next thing we're going to talk about is these are our TT style arms. On a Honda, they're about 1.5 inches wider than stock. As far as shock location, we either put it in the stock location or 1 inch out, depending on your preference. And if you have questions about that, feel free to give us a call here at the shop, and I can help you with all of them. Here is our Pro Series tie rods. It's the swedged aluminum tie rod. So what they do is a bigger diameter tube. They swedge this end, they drill and tap it, and they make these, for us per length of what we ask for. On the end here, you can see this red Heim. It's an FK rod end, which you can see here is moves very, very freely. We're building all the adapters and stuff. This particular bike has a titanium nut, made by Forworks Carbon for us. Forworks again supplied like the titanium bolts you can see throughout the machine here and stuff. So, but again, we're all trying to get all rid of the weight, trying to keep these. The reason going with these is one reason is for the weight, and the next thing is it gives you a really light feel, gives you a really direct feel of what the machine is doing on the track. Up on top here, we got one of our steering stems. As you can see here, this is an 1 1/8 clamp, and we actually have an offset in these clamps of 4 millimeters. So it gives you the rider the choice of moving his handlebars forward and back depending on his size, track conditions, whatever you want to do. We also do a stem for the really big guys that has a sweep to this, where we move this whole location forward 3/4 of an inch. Going down here a little bit, this is one of our billet clamps. This cleans everything up on the bikes, makes them look nice. And moving down to the bottom of the steering stem, I'll get into this. This is our down here by the steering flag this is our adjustable steering stops, and what that does is allow the rider to basically change how sharp the machine will turn by just adjusting those bolts. As you can see, the bolt touches the stop down there, which controls that. So you can, with this jam nut, you can move this in and out and get what you're looking for. So finishing off the front of this machine is one of our billet front hubs. Big thing in our hub is, we make it out of billet 6061 material. So we gain strength there, but the thing that we take it to the next level is we add another bearing on the outside of the hub to help take all that load. So we use that same hub in our cross-country bikes, our MX bikes, you name it, that hub is used. So instead of 2 bearings, we have 3 bearings. Obviously, we're carrying out a lot lower load on that outside bearings by spreading it out between 2 of them. Underneath here is a castle nut that we send with the hubs. So everything's nice and clean, contained. There's no ring behind here to keep all the water and moisture out of there. This hub in this particular video does not have the studs pressed in it yet. I apologize for that, but it will come with studs, everything ready to go for you. So finishing off the front end of the machine, this is the PEP PB1 front shock. It's a ZPS style shock, and ZPS simply stands for zero preload, which allows the rider to do adjustments on his ride height by simply pressing this spring. You can move this wire clip up and down, and that allows how high the front of the machine sits. Also in this machine, there is this top spring. It's a dual rate spring. There's crossover rings in here, and that you can dial in your front suspension stiffer or softer by just changing them simple plastic rings in there. This particular shock comes with high-speed compression and also rebound. So finishing out the rear end of this machine is we utilize in this build a PEP rear shock. Wayne's been around racing for years. He's traveled all over the nationals, all over the nation, working with pro riders. The famous guys, I guess, in my world, the Shane Hitts, the Tim Farrs, Keith Littles, all those guys worked with him, and he's definitely paid his dues. This has got an 8-click bottle on it, and you can tell runs up to here. And this particular one is a ZPS style shock. Wayne builds this shock with a dual rate rear system or a single rate. This build here is a single rate rear suspension. Again, Wayne also has adjustable rebound. Wayne's been around this game for a long time, understands how to make these things work. Good company to work with. So to kind of wrap things up here, this is a list of the parts that are in this particular build so far to put this together here. And starting off with the TT nerves, the bumper, use the drop grab bar, the subframe. Everything's on here. There's a couple things on here that are You know, we're not talking about an ATV stand. This list was originally made for a show that we went to. But so if you got any questions, you're more than welcome to call us at the shop, 320-234-7223, or on our online store at rathracing.com. You know, check us out on Instagram. We got all kinds of cool stuff going on there in our Rath Racing Facebook page. There's always something going on with new parts, anything new that we're testing or developing. We try to keep you guys informed, so check it out. But here's all the pricing, and give us a call here at the shop, whether you're trying to build a motocross bike, TT bike, whatever you're looking for cross country. Let us know, and we're glad to help you.